All right. So after a little technical difficulties there, I wanted to come back to you. Welcome you to another episode of As a Man Thinks. Um, Last week, we were joined by our first guest, Jamie, which we had a very interesting conversation. I thought it was. If you missed it, go back and listen to that episode. That would be episode 3, generational curses or something like that. Anyway, on today's episode, we are talking about the right and the wrong way. And the reason I decided to talk about this was because me and my wife were discussing some things last night. It was probably, I'm going to say, 2 in the morning. We were up just chopping it up. I mean, sometimes that's what we do. And it was about, we were talking about a lot of things, but one thing that that I brought up was how the social media age is different from how when me and her grew up. You know, we grew up without, in our teen years, without the social media. The only thing we had at first was beepers. And a lot of people don't know about that. Well, pagers, where you had to actually call, leave a number, and somebody had to stop by payphone, which are totally extinct right now. And call you back. And if it was an emergency, you put 911, or if you want to send a message, you would type, hello in there using the numbers, off the phone keypad. So anyway, without the social media, we actually had to go and, actually meet people. We had to go actually to the malls and to whatever, to see people that we didn't know from, other sides of town, even in the same city. Sometimes, you kind of, met people at your school. You had, games, basketball, football games at other schools or something, or dances or parties. People used to go to Crenshaw, different little clubs. That was the only way you could meet people. But in today's time, in the social media age, you can meet so many people around the world by just hopping in a DM. And, what this has caused is a world where, for one, people are not putting up with people's, misbehaviors or shortcomings in relationships, which that's their right. I'm not talking about that. That's totally your right to not have to not have to deal with what other people are talking about. If they, they got red flags come up in relationships and you don't want to deal with that, you push on. You push totally on because, if you're a woman, if you're a good looking woman or man, you can basically, have your picks and chooses. There's so many people around the world that you have access to, that it gives you a lot of options. Now, with this being said, if you are a good looking person, then you have a lot of options. If you're, what society deems you as not good looking, then your options may be limited. So sometimes people stay in relationships a little longer because of these reasons. Like me and my wife was talking about, different people, they grow up a certain way where even before the social media age, like I was saying, my wife was telling me, hey, I have my picks and chooses from guys, which she's a very beautiful lady. She's gorgeous, right? Drop dead, body, brains, all that. Like I said, we were up at 2 in the morning talking, not having sex, talking about something, and we could do that with the lights off. So it wasn't about looks, money, social status, none of that. People have gotten so accustomed now to stuck up on looks, money, social status, all that. If I had to, I've asked my wife plenty of times, hey, if you had to tell somebody about yourself, what would you say? And she could tell me about her, not what she does, not where she works, not where she lives, not how much money she got, none of that. But there's a lot of people that if you ask them, hey, tell me a little bit about yourself, they might start off with those things. And it's gotten to a point now where, people are trying to be perfection, with their bodies, which is not a bad thing if you're healthy, trying to be healthy. But it's like if a guy is not over, I see a lot of comments on social media that like if a guy's not over 6 feet, if his dick ain't 8 inches, if he ain't got $100,000 job, $200,000 job, whatever the number is for guys, if hey she ain't got a fat booty, if he like titties, if her titties ain't big, if he wanted to have green eyes, hazel eyes, black eyes, long hair, short hair, it's all these different type of prerequisites as they would, as I would call them. You first look at somebody like, oh man, they a little too short, or her booty ain't big enough, or she a little too heavy, or yada yada yada, whatever. We got it. It's like the internet back when I first started really getting on the internet tough. It was 1995. It was dial up. Way different than what it is now. There wasn't any social media sites where you could interact with people like that except for email. They did have a site. They used to have a site called Black Planet, and Black Planet was a kind of like the, I'm gonna say, Tinder, Plenty of Fish, Black People Meet or whatever. It was the first site where Black people could meet somebody outside of their like region, city, or whatever. And it was kind of cool. It was new. People did get on it, but it kind of took a while to catch on. So had stuff like that. I named this podcast The Right and the Wrong Way because if you're trying to get into a sustainable relationship, there are, to me, in my opinion, right and wrong ways to go about it. With that being said, I met my wife, which is my only wife in my life, on the dating app Tinder. Now, I was on Tinder. I got on, I think, Plenty of Fish and Tinder. And so I was going one day to get off Tinder. I was like, this is like a booty site. I was looking like, I'm a guy, don't get it twisted, but I wasn't looking for just the big button smile. I wasn't looking for just the wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I stayed on Tinder probably about 6 months, and I did meet some people. And when I when I met them, it was like a straight session. They wanted it to be like, this is what it is. It's bam, bam, bam. So like I said, I was going to get off one day, and my wife explained to me that her coworkers had got tired of her not having a boyfriend, not going on dates regularly. So they put her on Tinder, got some pictures, put her on, made a little profile. So it was her first day on. And how Tinder works is that they send you people that are within your, like, probably a 25-mile radius or whatever. So she worked near where I lived, within like 10 miles. And so something told me, hey, man, just get on there. I know you're going to get off, but just go around one more time. The first picture I saw was hers. I was like, oh, this is a nice looking chick right here, So I liked her picture, or swipe right or left or whatever it was. And I think I left her a message, saying that, she's a nice looking person. I'd like to get to know her. And so she's going on there. She went on after her friend her coworker set the profile up. She went on and swipe. No. Then she got to my picture. Something stood out. Now, granted, I wasn't in the best clothes. I didn't, I think I was smiling on the picture. She just said it was something. She swiped, right or left or whatever it was. And she said all type of coins and stuff came down the screen. Like, it's a match. So I left my number. So we exchanged messages, a few times through the app. And I told her, hey, look, I'm not with all this messaging. Here goes my number. I'd like to talk to you, whatever. And so the rest is history, So we actually did meet on a site, so I'm not bashing people for meeting somebody on social media, but it wasn't just about the looks with her. Yes, she said I was nice looking. I thought she was gorgeous, beautiful, all that. Then we got to talking and everything just worked out. My point, right and the wrong way, because even with that said, meeting somebody on a dating site, meeting them in a grocery store, meeting them wherever, getting set up by friends, there's certain things that if if you're a praying person, if you prayed, hey, God, send me a husband, send me a wife, and then God happens to say, that's your husband, that's your wife, but they don't look like, or they don't have a social status, what you prayed for, that doesn't necessarily mean that won't be the best person for you. And we get stuck up in so much in looks. And like I said, it's almost repetitive. It kind of like, it just, I don't know. It just, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it doesn't sit well with me, because so many people may have missed their blessing because a dude maybe got 3 kids. But what about the women that got 3 kids? My wife had 3 kids when I met her, but I accepted them, all of them, as my kids. I treat them as equal, like they're my own kids. I have no problem with that. But that's me. Some people got their, they believe what they believe in because of past relationships, how people have done them, all that. And I feel sorry for them. I really do, because sometimes they might miss somebody that God places in their life for a particular reason, to make them a better person, to ultimately make them the happiest that they could be. So if you're going along and I'm in my 40s, so it's a lot of people I know that's in their 40s, they're not in a current relationship. They may want to be in a current relationship, but they don't know how to get in a current relationship. Well, first off, you have to make yourself available. And what I mean by that is, like, if you're in a grocery store, if you're in a mall, if you're going to the 7-Eleven, if you're so used to guys are like ogling over you, because you may be a nice shaped lady, you might be nice looking, that, if a guy is looking at you, he makes eye contact with you, but you already have this look on your face like, don't say nothing to me. Guys recognize that, just like, women can recognize that. But guys recognize, oh, she don't want nobody to say nothing to her. First thing they might think, she thinks she all that. I'm just speaking to her. Reason being is because I used to go to the grocery store, and I literally was in there speaking to women, just passing them by like this, not trying to holler at them, not looking back at their booty, nothing. Hey, how you doing? I'm coming from work. I work in construction at the time, and I still do. And, I'm coming in there. I might have been a little dirty with my orange long sleeve shirt on, boots, and jeans. I'm just speaking. They were actually turning their nose up. And I was like, wow, they must not like construction workers, or I must not be that good looking of a guy to them, or whatever the case would be. I didn't get a lot of play. I was never the type of guy to have a multitude of women at my beck and call. I've seen this, I've heard this, like I said, my wife says she not had men at her beck and call, but she had a lot of suitors, which she still tells me to this day, dudes always sliding in her DM. Hey, how you doing? Beautiful, and all this, yada, yada. So a lot of people don't know what that feels like, me being one of them. And that's where we were talking about that a little last night. I don't know what it feels like to have a multitude of women just in my DM, or speaking to me, or giving me the eye while I'm out or nothing. Never knew what that felt like in high school. Never knew what that felt like. College, after college, none of that. So it's two sides to the coin. So for the people who have had that, then they grow up with the mentality of, well, I can get any guy I want at any time, so I can choose to be single. I can call a guy up, tell him to come over here, beat my guts up, and I send him on his way. Or I can tell him to come over here, take me out to eat, meet him at a restaurant, get him to take me to a fancy restaurant, may give him some, may not, whatever. And I'm just having fun with him. I'm not looking for nothing serious, and people that do that, in my opinion, karma is everything. You reap what you sow. So if you're out there doing that to people, then what do you think you're going to get ultimately in return? You're going to get your butt dogged out. Now, my opinion, and that's what I'm standing on. It's a lot of people I see on social media that, they could be having fun on the internet. They could be, not taking it serious, but I always take it. What if they are? What if they are posting these things because some of those memes, they are really feeling that. And if they are really feeling that, it's a lot of hurt people in this world. because people have, like I said, people have hurt them, but everybody is not the same person. And you have to talk to somebody, get to know them, ask them the right questions, not just about if you can see their dick print, if you can see what type of car they drive, if you can see how they look, where they work, who they hang around. A guy hits you up, you immediately go to his social media and see, let me see what type of posts he making. Let me see where he hang out. Yeah, tell me how that's working out for you, because I'm gonna tell you how it worked out for me. I didn't do none of that with my wife. I talked to her. I asked her questions. I wanted to know. I didn't judge her. None of that. I got to know her from what she told me, from me hanging around her. I didn't have to look at her social media. I still haven't went back and looked at her posts. She tells me all the time, hey, this came up. This is how I was thinking 10, 11 years ago. I've never went back and looked at her posts. I don't have to, because I got to know who she was. Like I said, I feel sorry for the people who do that, because in my opinion, you're going to never find somebody that's going to ultimately love you the way you want to be loved, because you're looking for things. You're looking for the wrong things in somebody. Like me, I'm not 6 feet, I'm 5'10", 200 pounds. I got a bald head. I got a gray beard. When I met my wife, she made more money than me. I didn't give a damn, because I knew what I brought to the table. I brought a lot of good qualities. There's a lot of women that didn't even get the chance because they passed up on me. A lot of women kept me in the friend zone. Some women do that. They keep men in the friend zone thinking, oh yeah, I could just keep him hanging around and flirt with him every now and then, and he'll just always be there. When if I get ever, if push comes to shove, I could just call him up and he'll be my man. Yeah, tell me how that's working out for you right now. Because what I do know is that people that knew me and people that knew my wife before we met each other, it's a lot of people that's now shaking their heads. I'm not saying I'm better or worse than the next person. I'm not saying that at all. It's just that me and her were compatible together, whereas the other person didn't give us a chance. It's a lot of guys that wanted to talk to her that didn't want to wife her up. They wanted to just, hey, I'm going to take you out and jump up and down inside you. Cool. If that's what she chose to do, that's what she chose to do. But she didn't choose to do that because she valued her self-worth was more than that. Now, with that being said, getting back to the people who do just strictly look on looks, strictly look on what a man can do for them. What about what you can do? What about what you can do for the man? I see a lot of people talking about, yeah, I'm this type of woman, this type of woman. Are you? For real? Are you that type of woman? Because if you was, I can't see how somebody that, you have interest in didn't want to keep you. What's really the issue? Are you if you get in a relationship and the relationship fails, are you blaming the other person when you don't never look at yourself in the mirror? Yeah. It's a whole bunch of people, not just women. Don't just think I'm not bashing no women. I'm not bashing nobody. It's a lot of people that don't know themselves. How you want to be with somebody and say you want this when you still got work to do on yourself? If you've never looked in the mirror and said, I got A, B, C, D faults, and you're not working on trying to fix them, how you think you're going to ever be right for somebody that's in a relationship? Yeah, I'm not perfect. I admit my faults to my wife damn near every day. I tell her why I did what I did, if it was wrong, why and how I'm going to go about fixing my thoughts so that I won't make those same thinking errors again, which lead to the actions I made, which didn't make her feel right. And it's a constant every day. It's an uphill battle. But guess what? Me and her both work on this battle every single day. We talk about a lot of things. Do we got bumpy roads? Hell yeah, for sure. But one thing about it, the love that I have for her, it don't go away. I know the love that she got for me. That's because we got to know each other. We established a solid base foundation. Now, after we did, then, things, like I said, things still happen. Anyway, enough about that. If you are, like I said, if you are trying to get with somebody and you like somebody, are you liking somebody out your league? Because if you want a dude that is a millionaire and you ain't a millionaire, or you want a dude that's in shape and you ain't in shape, what's gonna make him like you? You know, like you have all these different prerequisites, men or women. You out of shape, you don't have a job, but you want a woman that's A, B, and C, and D. What's gonna make her be initially attracted to you? How are you gonna present yourself, if you know you don't have the physical attributes, like I said, those are not the only things that matter in a relationship. True, they do initially pique somebody's interest. But even still, I see plenty of couples, just like I'm pretty sure you do, that you like, how the hell did he get hurt? First thing a dude thinks, oh, he got a big dick. Oh, he got a lot of money. He stay in this big old house. He got whatever. That's not necessarily true. Your personality, your character is ultimately in the end what's going to keep somebody coming back to you. How do you treat that person? How do you talk to them? If a woman is seeing a guy for the first time, and if he come up to her with this lame talk and she's not into the lame talk, into the whatever, kind of talk it is, she gonna pass. But if he may come up to her respectful, and if she likes the respectful talk, she may give him a chance. You never know. You can't score if you don't shoot the ball. You can't be Ben Simmons. So, and vice versa for the women, like I said, if you're going out and you so used to getting cheated on, dogged out, dudes ain't, doing the right things for you, then when you see a guy and you might be in a certain neighborhood, you might be in a certain social setting or whatever, and this guy don't look like he fits, then you don't give him the time of day. But what if he's in there really trying to make better of himself? He just may not be there yet, but that may be the person for you, because y'all may be able to elevate yourself together. And he has the drive in him. He just hasn't got there yet. You have to make yourself available, with your face. Don't just snub your nose up at everybody. Don't be snorting when you walk by and, mean mugging people. Hey, you can do what you want to, but you might end up 55 years old with a bunch of cats. So let me know how that works out. You can go buy all the vibrators. What's the new one called? The Rose. Go buy you all the roses you want to. It don't take the place of a warm body and a hard dick. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It don't take the place of somebody buying you flowers every other week. It ain't don't take the place of somebody taking you out to a date every week. Y'all got date night. It don't take the place of you having that security and knowing that somebody is there for you to ultimately listen to you, ultimately just cuddle with you watching a movie, cuddle with you praying together. Like I pray, hey, a lot of women, I'm willing to bet, would take a guy that prayed with him, that take a guy that said, I got your back to the end, that will go out there and lay down his life for him. And I don't mean like physically die for him. I mean lay down their life where they actually put the woman first, put them first. I put my woman first. She's first in my life. When I got married, God, her, kids, other family members, and I told everybody, she's first. It ain't a soul on this earth that wouldn't want a man to love them and put them first in all ways. So talking to somebody or seeing somebody and judging them off superficial things, yeah, in my opinion, that ain't gonna get you nowhere. It's gonna get you tossed in the bucket with everybody else. You're gonna be categorized with everybody else. What's gonna set you apart? Because you look good, because you got a fat booty, or because you work at a certain, like I said, that don't mean, man, I'm a guy. Trust me. You got to have more than that to set you apart. Period. That's not going to be the only thing. I told my wife I was gonna make this podcast. I was gonna make this episode today, and I said it may be a little controversial. It may be perceived as bashing somebody or whatever. I don't perceive it as that. I perceive it as, if nobody's ever told you this, how you gonna know? Some people ain't never been told that you going about things the right way, because they've always been given everything. They've always been afforded to certain luxuries. And like I said, it goes both ways. This can go the same way for a guy, because a lot of guys I knew, they think if they got money, they think if they dick is big, that they can get any woman in this world. They think, oh man, I can just go pick her, and that may be the case. That very well may be the case, where they go somewhere, see her, chick see him, he got the nice gear on, he look good, she see his dick print, and there you go. Hey, if that's what he want to do, but ask him how's that working out when they not having sex, when they not at some fancy restaurant, when they not on a vacation. I would love to hear how's that working out on a Tuesday at 5:47 p.m. and yeah, there's no dinner at home. What if you meet somebody and she can't cook? What if you meet a guy and he can't cook? Because I cook, I clean, I go to work, I hustle legally. I have a hell of a motor. There's a lot of people that don't have that because they're looking to get handed something based off what God gave them. But if you ain't appreciative of God, guess what? Yeah, people can see how you really look. It was a movie I watched called Shallow Hal. Yeah. And he was not cursed. He was given the ability to see how somebody looked, but based on their inside. So 2 different women, one woman wasn't attractive, one woman was on the outside, but he went for the woman that he saw her soul, saw what was really on the inside. Hey, like I said, I feel sorry for you if you fall in this category. I feel sorry for you if you haven't found your person, because based off of what you judge people by, what you go after. Yeah. Because if you're not in that position, how you going to expect somebody to love you and want to be with you? Come on, man. What if you met the guy, watching the movie Notorious Big, he said his mom wanted him to be he wanted to be a garbage collector. What if you met somebody that drove a trash truck? He's got an honest living. And what if he made $100,000 a year? And I'm not saying $100,000 a year is a lot of money. Not saying that at all. But what if he was a garbage truck driver and he was a good guy? He just kept running into women that he saw that wasn't good for him. Yeah, they might have been beautiful. They might have been, funny. But that, whatever, but he was looking for something else. And when he tells people, hey, I work for the sanitation department, and they like, I don't want no garbage. I don't want no garbage collector. Okay, cool. In this age of social media, people put all the good stuff on social media. Put everything. They ain't putting the bad stuff. They ain't putting how they got to be successful. You just see them on trips. You see them, living their life. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with posting what you want to post. Just know that it's another side to the good side. We all struggle in this world. Everybody. We all go through our ups and downs. Everybody. And we all going to be judged one day, and not by our neighbors. I don't worry about what people say about me. I don't care. Period. I don't give a damn what they say, because I know who I am. And people are going to always have something to say. It's an old saying that my parents taught me, or maybe somebody in the neighborhood. I heard them say, keeping up with the Joneses will not take you far in life. And that, a lot of people know what that means, but for those who don't, that means you're trying to do something that you see everybody else doing. Just because this guy may have got him some Jordans. Back in the day, that was the big thing, wearing the designer clothes when I was in junior high and high school, with certain brands, that if you wore that, you had a certain status. I never was fortunate enough to get that, so my status wasn't like that, and I got treated as such. If you're trying to keep up with the people on social media, but you don't have the means or the opportunity, or you just don't have it to do, but you're trying to do it. You're trying to be at all the day parties. You're trying to be at all the Cancun trips or whatever. Yeah, tell me how that's working out for you, because I go to the islands. I take my woman, and I tell her to put on the most freakiest, sluttiest outfits that she has, because I don't have to look at other women in the thongs and in the dresses and in the little bitty shorts. I got my own person to do that. So I have learned that those superficial things are not going to last long. Yeah, ain't going to last long at all. I said that. I stand on that. And I'm willing to what's the word I'm looking for? I'm willing to bet on that. Yeah, because I am a gambling man. I'm willing to put everything I got on it, that if you just get with somebody because of looks or money, you ultimately ain't going to be happy. You can get with a billionaire and you can buy all the clothes and cars and everything. And after 6 months, if you got a Rolls Royce, it's going to be just like a Honda Accord in 6 months. You ain't going to think too much about it. You can go buy all the designer clothes and $5,000 and $10,000 bags and whatever they cost. And it's going to be the same type of bag that you can go buy at, I almost said Kmart. That really was going to show my age, but Walmart, because they sell purses. It's going to be the same thing, because you're not going to value that. What I value is time and memories that I have with the people that I care about. Period. I don't remember, all the gifts I got for birthdays or Christmas or, I don't remember every single one of them. I remember memories. I remember certain events that happened with people that I care about. That's what I want. I don't know about what you want, but this was just a word. It might not have been a word for that's going to get liked by a lot of people. Hey man, it's tough. Sorry. Look yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself and say, why don't I have somebody that truly loves me the way I want to be loved? Yeah. Look in the mirror, because you might not be all of what you think you are, because somebody that is really for you can see the inside of you and see you're a rotten person. You got too much to work on. I don't want to deal with that. I'm looking past all the outside stuff. Period. So anyway, that was this week's episode. The right and the wrong way. I do believe it's the right and the wrong way to get into a relationship. Keith Sweat said it wrong. He said it best, even though, that's not exactly what he was talking about. But, it's a right and the wrong way to love somebody. So to even get to that point, what are you going into that relationship looking for? Ultimately, yeah, the right and the wrong way. Until next time.